Lesson 12, Main Idea. The main idea is the general topic of a passage. When you read, it is important to know the basic meaning of what you are reading. The table asks you to identify the main idea of short excerpts or passages. Example, read the paragraph. What is it mostly about? In 1943, the aqualung was invented. The aqualung is carried on a scuba diver's back. It allows a diver to breathe enough air to stay underwater for several hours. Before the invention of the aqualung, divers had to breathe using long air hoses that reached the water's surface. The first sentence of this paragraph tells what the paragraph is about. It is called a topic sentence. A topic sentence sums up or gives a short summary of a paragraph's main idea. Often the topic sentence is the first or the last sentence of a paragraph. Did you write that the paragraph is about the invention of the aqualung? The paragraph explains what an aqualung is and what it does. So let's look at this test example. We'll read the paragraph and answer the question by circling the letter of the best answer. Our tape strategy tells us that in order to get the main idea of a passage, try underlining the first and last sentence of every paragraph. Reread them in order. This will provide you with a short summary of the passage. Masks, fins, and snorkels are three basic but important pieces of equipment that a diver needs. To see clearly underwater, divers use a mask. They use fins to move quickly through the water. To be able to swim face down, a diver needs a snorkel. This makes swimming much easier than lifting the head up to breathe. Before buying any other scuba equipment, a diver should first purchase a good mask, snorkel, and fins. So, 1. Which of these would be the best title for this excerpt? A. Diving in the Caribbean. B. How to use a snorkel. C. Learning to scuba dive. Or D. Basic diving equipment. The correct answer is D. The excerpt is about three basic pieces of equipment needed to scuba dive: a mask, fins, and a snorkel. The paragraph doesn't mention where to dive, option A. It doesn't go into detail about how to use the equipment, which would be option B. And it doesn't tell us how to scuba dive either, which would be option C. So here is our practice. This passage is about a famous underwater explorer. Read the passage and answer the questions by circling the letter of the best answer. Jacques Cousteau was born in France in 1910. Ever since he was a child, Jacques loved the water. He knew that he always wanted to be near the ocean. In 1933, Cousteau joined the French Navy. It was during his service that he began his underwater explorations. In 1937, Cousteau married Simone Melchior, and they had 2 sons. 2 years after their marriage, Cousteau fought for the French in World War II. During the war, he still found time to continue his underwater work. In 1943, he helped invent the aqualung, which allowed a diver to stay underwater for several hours. The aqualung was used to locate and remove underwater enemy mines. In 1951, Cousteau bought a ship to further his explorations. He named it Calypso. To pay for his trips on the Calypso, he made underwater films and wrote many books about ocean life. He also created a TV show called The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau. This popular show was on television for about 9 years. In 1974, Jacques established the Cousteau Society. It worked to help people understand and protect the water systems of the planet. Cousteau was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1985. In 1989, the French honored Cousteau with membership in the French Academy. Jacques Cousteau died in 1997. He will always be remembered for being a great inventor and explorer who helped educate the world about ocean life. I'm going to go back to the beginning of this passage, and I'm going to read the very first sentence. Jacques Cousteau was born in France in 1910. The last sentence of that paragraph, since it's a very short introductory paragraph, says he knew he would always want to be near the ocean. In 1933, Cousteau joined the French Navy. Now we skip down to the bottom of this paragraph and read the last sentence. The aqualung was used to locate and remove enemy mines. In 1951, Cousteau bought a ship to further his explorations. Skip down to the end of this paragraph. This popular show was on television for about 9 years. In 1974, Jacques established the Cousteau Society. And then the last sentence. He will always be remembered for being a great inventor and explorer who helped educate the world about ocean life. Now what I did there was I read the first and the last sentence of each of the paragraphs throughout the passage. That helps me get a better idea of the summary. So what is this passage mostly about? A, a popular TV show about sea animals. B, a famous inventor and underwater explorer. C, how underwater mines were used in World War II. And a group that helps educate people about ocean life. The best answer here is that it was about a famous inventor and underwater explorer. While we do mention a TV show, and while they do discuss that the aqualung was invented to help find underwater mines, and that he did establish a group, we know that the whole summary of this passage is about a famous explorer. So B is the best answer. Which of these is the best title for the excerpt? F, The Story of the Calypso. Well, that doesn't seem right because it wasn't just about his boat. G, My Life as an Inventor. That might be a good title for Thomas Edison's, but he also did a lot of exploring. H, Famous French Explorers. Well, we're getting closer. Or J, The Life of Jacques Cousteau. That one's by far the best answer. So J it is. 3. Which of these best tells about Jacques Cousteau's life? A, he spent his life helping others learn about ocean life. That sounds like a really good answer. We got to read them all. B, he fought bravely in World War II and was a war hero. C, he taught French scuba divers how to use the aqualung. Or D, he was a devoted family man who had a wife and 2 sons. You know, while B, C, and D are correct, A is the overwhelming idea of this passage because he was always trying to educate and help people learn about the ocean. And then last, this is just a factual question. When was the Cousteau Society formed? So I'm going to go back and scan until I see the word Cousteau Society. And I see it there in the near the top of the last paragraph, and it says it happened in H, 1974. So this concludes your main idea lesson. Thanks for listening.